Welcome to the latest episode of Something from the Margin of My Bible. As you see from the title of this episode, this note comes from Numbers chapter 4. And the reason I have that entire chapter as the title is because this note is sort of spread out throughout the chapter. I use the English Standard Version for my, I guess you'd say, primary Bible, especially the one I make notes in. And above Numbers chapter 4, the title of the chapter in ESV is this: Duties of the Kohathites, Gershonites, and Merarites. And so what I've done throughout this chapter is made a small list of what each of those three groups of Levites was in charge of, or what their primary duty was as far as the items of the tabernacle. So here's how I've done that. In that title, above Numbers chapter 4, I've blocked in the word Kohathites, or excuse me, the name Kohathites, and I've written this note: in charge of most holy parts of tabernacle. And then in parentheses, I have furniture and veil primarily. So again, above chapter 4, where the name Kohathites is found, I blocked that name in and written this note: in charge of most holy parts of the tabernacle, and then in parentheses, furniture and veil primarily. Now, way down in the chapter, after the description of the Kohathites, beside verse 21, which is where you have the next group, the Gershonites, I've circled the verse number for number 21, and out to the side I've written this: Gershonites were in charge of curtains and coverings, and then parentheses, except the veil. So again, I've circled the verse number for number 21, verse number 21, and out to the side I've written Gershonites were in charge of curtains and coverings, and then parentheses, except the veil. And then finally, verse 29, I've circled that verse number. This is where the sons of Merari begin their rules. So I've circled the number 29, and out to the side I've written this: Merarites were in charge of solid parts of construction materials. And I have the word solid in quotation marks. So again, verse number 29, after the side I have Merarites were in charge of solid parts of construction materials. Now, that may not be something that's of interest to you, but it is of interest to me when I read these passages that so in great detail list how the work of God was done as far as the tabernacle, later the temple, and other things like that. And so this chapter just shows that in a very organized way. And so it's just helpful to me to keep this in mind of all three of these groups were Levites, but the work was divided up as far as what they were in charge of, what they were to carry and take care of, and all those sorts of things. So I won't give the notes again, but just to remind you of where they are. You go back to listen to the episode and find the notes. Verse 1, or above really verse 1, where it has the Kohathites, is where that's found. Verse 21 is where the Gershonites begin to be found, and then the Merarites begin to be found in verse 29. So I hope that note encourages your Bible study of the book of Numbers, especially chapter 4. We hope you listen next time for Something from the Margin of My Bible.